We're doing it live?
There's gotta be a faster way of doing this. What do we need? $10,000. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Where are the batteries? You have the batteries?
Hey, good morning, Echo Park.
Literally 3:30.
Good afternoon, Echo Park.
It's literally like the morning for you.
We got somebody right here, then we got activists, so get ready to plug me in.
You want to turn it on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's give it a little intro to the thing.
We got signs, ladies?
Yes, we do.
Are we protesting something?
No, we are very happy and we're celebrating that the park is open.
Okay. Do you want to do an interview or?
Oh, I better not.
Why not? Just tell us that you're happy that it's open.
Okay.
Hi, what's your name?
Amy,
Amy, are you happy that it's open?
I am so happy that Echo Park is open for the kids and families in this community.
You are concerned about the kids and family. I know a lot of people did. They were concerned about what was going on. What about the concern for the people that were thrown out? Did you guys talk about that? Have you spoken with your assemblyman? Have you spoken with Mitch Farrell or anything?
We are in support of the park being returned to the community.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I have spoken to his office
Yes.
to express that support.
Okay. What was the main concern though?
It's a little close. The main concern is just that, our kids need play areas, green space, open air. It's important that kids get that during a pandemic, but also during regular time. And so it's wonderful that the families in this community can use the park again.
Okay, thank you so much for your time and
Thank
good luck
you.
with everything.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Bye guys. Push back because she really didn't want to do the interview, so I kind of and obviously people in this community, some people in this community, some are very supportive, and Fiorella and Jonny can tell you that because they followed the story very closely. They were very supportive of what was going on during the COVID, during a pandemic, during an outbreak, a virus, because you have to find places for people to live and sleep in safety. And then there's people like that, that were just very much concerned with their own lifestyle, their own children, where they can play, green spaces. And I'm not taking that away from anybody to say that they don't need that. I mean, shit, the mental health issues alone during this pandemic were probably through the roof. And yes, kids couldn't go out and play and they had to wear masks in school and all that shit. But still, there's another side to the coin that sometimes I think humans are so what's the word? Yeah, say it for me.
Desensitized or
Yeah, decentivized. No, it's not decentivized. Desensitized about what's going on in their community, that there were people here living because they had no place to go, and the sense of community they built here and fed each other and cleaned the park and what they did. So understand her point of view, but it's still, we have to find a way, and that's why channels like this, Independent News, and all the people who got out of here are so important, because they were presenting that side of the story of the people who took refuge here, who built a community. So maybe, if not, in fact, and I would have liked her to say something more along the lines, well, we have to find about what's going on. Why are you here?
No, I was a resident at the park. I lived in the park. Yeah.
Okay.
And I just
your
want
name?
Selena.
Selena, I'm really sorry what happened.
Yeah, I just want to say, it wasn't the way that it portrayed. Yeah. A lot of us were there because of the economic situation. We couldn't afford rent, so we wanted to stay here. It was safe. It was a nice atmosphere,
Tell us about the community. You said safe. It was clean.
Yeah.
As well. Tell us about the community and what you built here, because it was really amazing when we got to see it.
The community, most of the people that I met were really nice people. They all helped each other. I mean, bloggers would come here and just make these speculative comments, not based on anything, not based on reality, saying that people were eating the geese. If they actually did any proper research, they would realise there was a kitchen over there, and the supermarkets like Vaughn's, Lassen's, Ralph's, lots of different places were coming every day and giving food donations. You know, absolutely nobody ate the geese, and these YouTube bloggers come here and make these comments about us. We're human just like you. We're human just like everybody else. We're disgusted by the same things. You know, we're the same. You know, people are people. We're disgusted by the same things. You know, nobody ate any geese, and these bloggers would come and say that. They'd come and say that it wasn't safe at night. Yeah. In fact, there was homeless guys were employed as security guards here. So I felt very safe, and I stayed here as a female alone, you know. So I can, I'm testimony to that.
Absolutely. Can you say something, not only was about the geese and that and stuff, they also said there was a lot of hypodermic needles on the ground, a lot of drug users. Can you talk to that and talk about how that was also falsified by a lot of people?
I personally didn't see any needle users when I was here. I can speak from my own observation. I didn't see any needle users when I was here. I don't know where they got that from. I don't know if that was propaganda, made up, like you said, falsified just for their own agenda, Yeah. But like a lot of it seems like it is, to be honest. It just seems like, it's a shame, really. Yeah.
You talked about people being. You talked about people being employed for security. Weren't there other jobs that people had? And can you explain a little bit about that to the community you built?
Yeah, there were jobs in the kitchen. People were employed sitting on the table as well to give out clothes donations. We employed a cook too to basically make a dinner for the community. There was lots going on, but also people were generally employed. They had jobs. Gustav was a labourer. Many people actually worked, but they couldn't afford the rent. Also, they didn't. We don't want to pay $1,800 for an apartment. We're paying that much money, which mostly are month's wages, for something that isn't even ours in the end, So we don't want to pay $1,800 for rent. It's too much, They're saying, but they were drug users, they were mentally ill, and the tents increased. Yeah, the tents increased threefold because there was an economic collapse. Yeah. Lots of job losses because of COVID-19. That's why you had more tents here, It's purely economical.
Last question. When did you want to go and do questions or?
Ask a question. So they keep saying that they offered the Project Key housing thing. Did you get into that program and can you tell us about that program?
Yeah, we're staying in LA, the Grand. Obviously I'm not American, but you seem to have a very broken system with dealing with homelessness, and a very prison-like system, incarcerational housing, and a lot, it seems like a lot of false promises and a lot of, violations happening there. I'm seeing people being kicked out all the time, and they're ending up on the street. But what I'm personally seeing, because I could just go from my observation, is that more people are on the sidewalk now. That's really bad. It's a very broken system here.
But as far as so the way the project works is that it's they're supposedly they give a hotel to some of the residents here. They established a relationship. Did somebody establish a relationship, like a speaking relation to you or anything like that?
Not really, no.
Okay. And the hotel, so are there restrictions on the time that you're supposed to be in there and stuff like that?
Yeah, we have a curfew. Curfew's 7. I don't know the reasoning behind that. Again, they're serving us the same food every 2 days to the point it's not edible anymore. I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, there's lots of, but it seems like homeless people don't seem to have any rights or voice here, and it's bad that you have a system like that.
Right, so...
Dehumanizing, they have a very dehumanizing, they portray a very dehumanizing image of homeless people. Yeah. You know, again, like I said before, that they're all drug users, mentally ill, lazy, when a lot of us were just basically here for economic reasons, but that side is never told.
Exactly, yeah. The pandemic happened. There was a huge economic collapse. You're seeing the prices going up now in food and rent.
Prices go up, but the wages are not going up.
Exactly, wages aren't going up.
The hours are not there. If the companies are not giving us the hours, what are we supposed to do?
So apart from the curfew, I was also wondering, so are you guys in the same room, or is there separate rooms?
I mean, this is another issue with the hotel as well. It's very socially isolating there. They just want you to stay in your room. You know, they have a smoking area, and I'm not a smoker, but they have a smoking area, and you can only be there for 10 minutes. So you can't even, like, you can't talk to anybody in the hotel. And you do get kind of depressed there.
Yeah, because it's socially isolating. That's the difference from, that's a very stark difference from what was happening here before. Amen Echo, we did an interview.
The good thing about the homeless community in the park, it was a community. I could just speak for myself. You know, nearly all the people I met here were good people. They were really helpful. If you didn't have money, they'd give you money. They would help each other with food. Everybody supported each other. There was a lot of love. There was a lot of, you know, good friendships. That's the bad thing about the hotel, that there's kind of like, there's not community. There's not, it's very, you know, you're just isolated.
Yeah, no, and I just wanted to speak on a little bit. You know, we interviewed Amen Echo. You guys can see that interview on the Convo Couch, and he showed us around. He showed us the showers being built, the kitchen being built. That was a project that was going on back in October.
They're saying, you know, we can't help what people from outside are doing. You know, maybe homeless people from outside are coming there and dropping trash or dropping this and that. We can't help that, but we live there, so we wanted to keep it clean. We had more of an incentive to keep it clean, to keep it safe, because we're the ones who are living there. You know. Exactly.
It was building a community, and Amen, he was doing the jobs thing, right? He was paying people to clean it. He was paying people to pick up trash. He was giving them it felt like, you know, giving you a responsibility again, right? To some people who haven't had that, who've been living on the streets and been socially isolated, like you said. So I just want to thank you so much. Do you have anything else that you want to say?
I don't know if I'm repeating myself. It was just unfair the way the bloggers would come and just, you know, film the worst aspects, the worst tents, put sad music, make it seem like something it wasn't. That was very snide what they did. And that, you know, thousands and thousands of people saw that, and they just have that, you know, image. Please don't judge us from that. Don't judge us from what they showed. That wasn't, you know, reality.
Thank you so much. And what was your name one more time?
Selena,
thank you so much. We're going to keep covering the park and see. We're going to talk to some more people. Thank you so much.
Johnny.
Do you have anything to say?
No.
Do you have anything to say? Interesting. The socially isolating part. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah,
I feel like, you know, the government has been. That's their prerogative to divide and conquer and keep you socially isolated.
Yeah, like what she said is true. I remember coming in, you know, and I know activists here like Carlos Marroquin. He brought me to meet Ayman Ahmed is his name. And he brought us in. We talked to some people, and one of the things they emphasized was the community that was built in there was entirely different than the way mainstream media portrayed it. You guys saw last night how angry the Black Lives Matter protesters got at the corporate media, because the corporate media only cares about getting those seconds of video footage that will generate ratings and that will paint a picture. So as soon as they get that, they're done. They've done their duty. They go home, And then you leave this image of, needles, unsafe, and blah, blah, blah. But unlike the few people that we just interviewed over there, the vast majority of the community we saw in the numbers that showed up to actually stand against the closing of the park and the arrest that we saw and the coverage that we saw, the vast majority of the community had zero problem with these people here. And trust me, they would have had an issue if these people had been a menace to their community, their families, etc. Because I've been to countless city council meetings where a lot of people voice their opposition to even not this. They voiced their opposition to actual it's the bridge housing that was being built. So people would come and voice their opposition to that. Even that was bothering them because they were like, oh, there's going to be needles and drugs and all of that. So really, if you don't want bridge housing, and then if you don't provide the bridge housing, then people have to provide their own housing. And if you're telling me that the vast majority of these people that were living here were working, but they still couldn't afford to pay rent, and at the end of the day, they're not going to spend most of their wages paying for a roof over their head where they can't feed themselves, then what is the solution? Obviously, society is not working at this point, right? I want to know what the solution is. If you aren't going to help people, and when they try to help themselves, you also don't allow them to do that, then what do you want people to do? And it seems like they just want people to disappear somewhere else where they're no longer an eyesore. And that isn't really a humane way to act. And no matter how often these people try to pretend that you can just cover it up with a happy poster of like rainbows and butterflies, you have just displaced a bunch of homeless people and given them zero alternatives. And that should no longer be acceptable. And we should be covering the stories of these people and why they're here and why they're doing what they're doing and how they feel. And it's disgusting seeing this fence, Jonny. When we were here before, there was no ugly-ass fence around it. And I'm sorry, excuse my French, but really, look at this fence. When we've covered this story before, there was no fence around the park, right? There was no fence at all. Look at the division that creates. You're talking about criticizing Donald Trump for building a wall, yet society in America consistently and constantly builds walls and divisions among class. The ruling class, the predator class, is constantly undermining the working class. They are making it a crime to be poor. And that's what none of these people talk about. It is now criminal to be poor. You can't sleep in your car either, by the way. You can't. You're not allowed. You'll get a ticket. And they say park temporarily closed for renovation, too.
That's the law in LA County or right here in Los Angeles City or whatever.
It's worse in Pasadena even, but it's bad here.
You can't even park in the car.
No.
You're not allowed to sleep in the car. And, in Pasadena, they don't have the law, but, it's just like the parking zone, you'll get towed, right?
Yeah, they'll tow you or they'll give you tickets. And if you don't pay the tickets, you get a citation. And if you don't pay the citation, then what do? You end up in the prison system. You end up with a record and there you go. You're part of the system. And by the way, there are organizers and activists that I know and I love very much that run programs where you could have people park in a parking lot where they have security around, but it is like very few people who are able to do that, guys. Like, it's just not enough.
Switch over to the other one.
I need to be here.
You should be here for them. Where's he at? Hiding.
Well, maybe.
Johnny, I gotta take a walk. I gotta switch the mics. I mean the batteries. So, one shotgun. So, stainless steel.
nothing that people don't.
Not right now. Let's keep it on the shotgun a little bit. Can we take a little walk? Yeah, let's take a walk.
Oh, I just feel so much safer having the police around me. I just feel so safe. Thank you for protecting us from the evil humans that live here, right? Hashtag sarcasm, in case anybody heard me.
Okay.
Oh, I would just get cocaine. Yeah. She's one of the lead organizers.
Probably a controversial character.
Seeing around. We're gonna need you.
It's a long move.
It is.
Right here. Put the tent right there.
Good does the boot taste? How good does the boot taste?
That boot. Just deep throat in the boot. Deep throat in the boot.
You know, I haven't been filming YouTube videos. Stuff, but that's for another video.
Yeah, they couldn't see the bigger problem.
All right, so
I mean, technically, we're not even out of.
Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, a lot of the.
Oh, yeah, they probably.
It was initially an invite only.
Yeah, we're gonna come in and go. Oh, yeah, make this invite only. I did not get
Which channel are you with?
Our own channel, the Convo Couch, independent media.
That's awesome. Really?
Yourself?
Well, I'm running for governor.
You are?
Yeah, we declared last week.
Oh, what's your name?
My name is Kevin Paffrath.
Gotcha.
Beat Kevin Paffrath, and yeah, we're running to replace Newsom, Democratic replacement.
And what are you running as?
Democrat.
Green? Oh, you're running as a Democrat.
Which again, Newsom's not going to be happy about. But we're going to beat him.
Why?
Well, we've
How?
got a 20-part plan to solve this state. It's going to start with homelessness. That's why we're here today.
Okay.
Day one, national emergency, well, state of emergency.
Yeah.
National Guard comes to provide compassion support for everyone on our streets.
National Guard? Terrible idea.
Well, I know you've been hitting on me for a while.
Guys, can I have a conversation?
Go have a conversation.
I was gonna push back and ask some questions. You want to do it, brother? Or you want me to
No,
talk?
come here. Listen to my plan.
You want, hey,
Listen to my plan.
You got a citizen who wants to talk, so go ahead. You don't want me to handle it?
No, come on here. So
I was going to ask him how he would have dealt with this situation differently that it was dealt with the way it was done, right?
People are committing suicide.
Exactly. There was a pandemic, right?
That's the answer.
Lots of no, here.
I thought there was a lack of compassion for the people that were here.
Yeah.
So
here's the
military
answer.
isn't really known for its compassion.
Could you give me a chance to answer?
I don't have to.
No, you don't have to. I was asking you.
I actually live in this.
What here's the
answer. So here's the answer.
Because that's a terrible acting, man.
Well, you heard
I
one
like
sentence.
the soup, but
no,
the acting is terrible.
You heard a sentence. It's bad. So here's the problem. People are dying on our streets. People are getting beaten
More
and
people are
raped on
dying
our
in these
streets.
hotels, in these projects.
These are a problem too. So here's the plan. First 60 days, National Guard is deployed by a state of emergency. No guns. No guns.
How dare
Listen.
you speak over someone with lived experience? How dare you?
Exactly. How many?
We have
How many exactly?
How
How
now?
Okay.
they don't want to hear what you got to say.
Okay then.
How dare you?
You can say anything.
All right.
You can say anything anytime you want.
How many days would you survive in a tent, sir?
I'd love to talk
I got solutions too, but see, I know how you guys play in the media. You're not gonna report that.
You walk away because I have something to say. I have something to say.
You don't want the cameras on me.
As a disabled person.
I got solutions.
You were here. You please say something.
Yeah, last night.
Let her speak.
Last night, I'm a disabled person. On the streets, I was robbed 5 times. 5 times in Echo Park. Okay? By myself. I was by myself with my dog, Red. Okay? You guys know Red. Okay? I had to go after them on my own. Because the police department did nothing. The fire department wouldn't even give my dog a fucking thing of water. They wouldn't even give him water. I told the girl to go fuck herself. She give my dog water? They don't take showers as a fire department? As the Echo Park Fire Department, there's no plumbing? There's no toilet?
Nothing.
Fucking A, are you serious?
You guys want solutions? Here you go. All these abandoned schools and malls, you reopen them, you renovate them. It'll cost you 1/4 of what this idiot Mitchell Farrell is doing. You open up all these abandoned parks with grass. You put some RVs up. Let people rent their RVs. Let people work and earn their keep. Give people an opportunity instead of just throwing them in jail, throwing them in situations for them to fail. That's how you solve said problem. You guys want to take a guess how much money your wonderful Mitchell Farrell is spending on these safe campsites? $2,600 per person for a person to sit in a tent. You could have put these people in an apartment or a hotel for that. You're putting these people in Project Room Key, telling them it's housing. In reality, it's shelters ran by Salvation Army and other providers. We don't even get our own key. We have 7 o'clock curfews. People have been kicked out for working. You guys talk so much shit about, oh, you guys don't want help.
This is the Queen. Our press conference is about to begin.
Yeah, we're gonna have a press conference soon.
Sorry, I mean, never.
Oh, you're good.
To a matter that is not important. Our press conference is willing to begin in about 5 minutes.
It's Phoenix.
Spell out the city.
And you know,
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
questions and answers we will gladly answer. Just please try to help us out and move forward to
Full
our,
name is Leonard
to our press
Abraham.
conference, which is
Leonard
what we came
Abraham.
here to talk about
My
today.
nickname is Phoenix.
Let's not deviate from the point.
Now you say that homeless people don't want an opportunity, they just want to sit on their ass and do nothing, but yet when people are trying to get jobs at these PRKs, they're being kicked out because of curfews and other nonsense.
Curfew, 7 p.m., right?
Yeah. I had a worker barge into my bathroom while I was in the bathroom and it challenged me to a fight. That guy still has his job, and I was written up for a reprimand.
Really? So
Yeah.
you were in the housing key, the project, right?
Yeah, Project Room Key, in which we have no key.
Right.
We have to have somebody open the door for us like we're in kindergarten.
And you were living here?
Yeah. Yeah, I was living in this area and I'm staying in one of the Project Room Keys right now.
Can you tell me more about that? Tell me more about your experience with the
Project Room Key, it is carceral housing, which is why we created our group Attack, Unhoused Tenants Against Carceral Housing. It is a mentality of, well, you guys are poor, you guys are homeless, so you should just shut up and take whatever treatment. And really it's hypocrisy, really it's a form of gentrification. It's a lot of things. And these service providers that are doing these things and this clown in a suit who's never had any experience being on the streets or anything, for him to come and try to tell us what we need to do. How can you tell me what to do in an experience you've never experienced. That's crazy. That's like telling Aaron Rodgers, hey man, you throwing the ball wrong, brother. What are we talking about? Go through these situations. You know what I encourage people to do for all these rich stuck-up folks that are so uncomfortable with us and we're so criminals. I encourage y'all, go start staying at one of these Project Room Keys and you'll see. You'll see the treatment, you'll see the hypocrisy, you'll see how these staff members do what they want to do and have zero accountability for their actions. You get to see you're being in a room and somebody can just open up the door and barge in on you in the bathroom and then point the finger at you and say you're the problem.
That's crazy. We have to go to one of these.
People have committed suicides at these Project Room Keys. People have mental health illnesses that are not being treated and taken care of. There are solutions right here. We have all these abandoned buildings, schools, houses, everything that we can be opening up, put some electricity and water in there, let people become janitors, earn their stay there. You know, we're here, we're ready to do it, but you know, this narrative of we just want to sit and be victims, no. If we were victims, we wouldn't be showing up here today. If we were victims, we wouldn't have formed this group attack. Unhoused tenants against carceral housing.
There was a community being built here.
Yeah.
You know, Eamon Echo, we've interviewed him before. He was providing money to people to pick up trash.
Community job programs, gardening, community kitchen.
He was building the kitchen, he was building the showers. You know, so a community was being built, and the narrative from the mainstream media is, oh, there's needles everywhere. There's what else were they saying? They're saying
which a lot of the cops
eating the geese and stuff,
put in the tents afterwards. But anyway,
it's crazy. Man.
Yeah. You know, they say, oh, we're doing this because we care about you. Like, we were taking care of ourselves for the most part. You guys came out to say, hey, you got to move, you got to do what we want you to do. And that's not right.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Alright guys, I think for what we were all waiting for. Look, at the end of the day, we didn't come to see who was at fault, what happened, and who it was damaged to, because the damage is already done. Everything that was done was done. Even to me. I'm going to tell you right now, an officer of Mitchell Ferris' office just cut my wrist. You know how I can be here right now? Because that's not the point. I will address that later. I know recently we're basically like looking for a cause to kind of like get our anger and get our frustration out. It's been a long year. We've been hit by COVID, something that we never thought would ever put the world upside down, but it did. There's a good and there's a bad. It leveled everybody out. People that were high, people that thought they were untouchable, they're right here with me. I'm one of them. I worked a good job. I had a good career. I worked my butt off. Because of an accident, and you don't have to believe me. But one thing I'm going to tell you, this scar right here is not equivalent to the pain I felt when this park closed down. I can give you a long list of why I became what I can, but that's not going to fix the issue. Today we're going to hear what was done was done. We want to know what happened. Some of the issues that we're going to talk today about are 3 of the simple topics. Family that was dispersed, the damage that was done to financial equivalent to the people of this park, and not only that, but I'm kind of going to change it, but like the fear that we were once known now is instilled because we've seen it. We refuse to be a police state. We refuse to be governed. We are old enough people. That's why we are over 18. I'm sorry, I gave birth to 6 kids. They're not going to tell me how to live. Today we're going to hear the story. We're going to hear the aftermath of everything that happened. You can see the little press conferences. You can see people coming. But when it comes to pay the piper, let's see who was here. Let's see who's been here. And that's what you're going to see today. The reality of the displacement. People are dying. And you know what it is? Change the sheets, nobody came. So today, that's what it's about. Let's stop giving them attention. They have enough. They pay for it. It's time to give us some attention. I'm gonna pass it on. Today we had a little coordination, but we're gonna do a little bit a cappella because I feel like nothing comes out of the heart unless it is. Phoenix, I'm gonna have him talk about what it is, the aftermath. Phoenix was a longtime resident of the encampments here. What, in his personal opinion, and it gave me, I had to take a breath, and I couldn't even call him because I was like, how do I help you? We're not allowed in the rooms. We're not. I cried because I was like, this is my family, and I am being excommunicated, but he can tell you more about that. And as things go on and as time goes on, you don't have to hear my story. Hear theirs. Because they're the ones that you found at this park on. I'm going to pass it over to Phoenix.
Testing. All right. Everybody hear me clear? All right. Welcome. My name is Leonard Averhart, but my street name is Phoenix. I'm going to just share my experience of just a lot of the bullshit that I've gone through. I've been on the streets for about 2 years now. And in that 2 years, I've never faced a bigger amount of disrespect and defamation of character and just lectures and dismissal on what you need to do. I was arrested by Officer Bemby and Officer Kim for literally being up in a tent. And when they were handcuffing me, put me in the back of the car, they told me, oh, you have no rights.
Yeah.
You ain't nobody.
Yeah, you're homeless.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Constitution, that don't apply to you.
Yeah. You're homeless, you don't matter.
Exactly. I'ma just get straight to the point about what I want to talk about. Let's call this what it is. This is gentrification. Point blank period. These politicians can spin it any way they want to spin it. I don't give a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? We came here to tell the truth. We're, like I said, we're out here living this. Not them. Not Mitch O'Farrell. Not Eric Onseti. Not Mr. Pretty Boy with the blue suit and the Disney Channel smile. That motherfucker wouldn't last 1 week out here. Let's call it what it is.
Right, discrimination is what it is.
Now, you'll have people say, well, man, you know, these people just need to go somewhere. They're causing a problem. They're dirty. They're lazy and this, that, and the third. Let me tell you something. When you push these people other places, they got to go somewhere. And then what happens? What happens if we go to another park, we start building, we start having community, and then they want to gentrify that area? And then they want to gentrify this area. And then the cycle just goes on and on and on and on. Now, we talk about America, freedom and liberty and justice. I ain't seeing none of that shit going on. Mitch O'Farrell says he's proud to be Native American. Motherfucker, you doing what the colonizers are doing. What are we talking about? Oh, we don't like the way that you're living. We don't like what you're doing, so you got to get out. We're embarrassed in front of the rich folks. We're embarrassed because we got to have the punk ass Olympics come here.
What Mitch O'Farrell said. Yeah, we don't like the way it looks. Please go live under a bridge. Go live under a bridge.
Bump all that. You know what this is? It is history repeating itself. Now, for all the narratives I want to say, well, we're just coming here and yelling and complaining. You got to understand, we've been through hell. Absolute hell. People are killing themselves at these project room keys, at these various sites here. Let's drop the science on what's going on with Project Room Key. They're telling you, oh, they got us housing and it's all happy, lovey-dovey. And when you get to these sites, they're telling you, oh, no, this is a shelter. You have no rights, you have no privacy. We're getting 7 o'clock curfews. We have no locks on our doors. We don't even have a key to our own door. We have to have somebody open the door for us like we're in kindergarten. Workers are allowed to come into our rooms whenever they damn well please. I had a worker barge in on me while I was in the bathroom and then challenged me to a fight because I checked him on it. Went to my room to go talk to the supervisor. I sat there for 45 minutes, no supervisor. But it's funny, when I'm coming back, a little 10, 15 minutes late, they're at the door like the fucking Avengers. Where was all that Avengers shit when people were dying? Where was all that Avengers shit when your workers are violating people's constitutional rights? Quick to tell us what we need to do, but there's no accountability on their side of the coin, on their side of the spectrum here. Now, people want to say we're just here whining and complaining. As I said earlier, we got the solutions right here. How much land do we got here on this planet, just in Cali alone? How much abandoned land is just sitting here?
Sitting.
Exactly. You renovate that, put some Harveys up, let people stay in there. Let people earn their keep. Say, hey, you know, we'll work something out. If you're low on money here, clean around the area, boom, you can stay here. The solution is all right in front of us. How many abandoned malls, schools, houses that we have just sitting here that you can fix up, put some electricity, put some water in there, and you can fix that for about 1/4 of the cost of what Mr. Mitch and Garcetti are doing. Really, Mitch O'Farrell, the greatest, what did he say? This was one of the greatest housing efforts in history? Motherfucker, you live in Disney World? Where you don't live on this planet. You don't live in this reality. We actually out here living this shit. The greatest housing effort in history, really. People dying, people getting barged in on. I know people that had to go back to the streets, it was so bad. They couldn't lay down in their bed for 15 minutes without a staff member barging in on them and just fucking harassing them. That don't make any damn sense. Project Room Key, we don't even have our own keys.
Exactly. Yeah. I got laying around my neck, and I'm free, bro.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, I don't even have
Project Room Key. You ain't got your own key, huh?
No.
Project Room Key.
I got my own card.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, look,
but I don't have my own key.
Hey, I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
How are you part of a rapid rehousing program and never get housed?
Right.
How are you part of a PRAF program and never get housed?
How they call it Project Room Key? You don't even got a key to your own house.
You don't have a key.
I just don't understand. Like, so are these false advertisements or are these false programs?
Well, let me tell you how it is at LA Grant.
Let me just say this. So what it is the shuffle. Let me tell you what their plan is. They're going to kick us out, or at least try to, when LA is officially reopened. They're going to put us in these so-called tiny homes. Mind you, these tiny homes are the size of a jail cell, and they're trying to put 2 people in there. You still want to tell me this isn't carceral housing? You still want to tell me what's really going on here? And then for those that don't get the tiny home, they're going to be put in these safe camping sites where basically they set up a parking lot, put you in a tent, and they're going to be spending $2,600 per person. How you're spending $2,600 for somebody to be in a tent, I'll just tell you guys to do the math on that one. I'll tell you guys to follow the money.
You probably have the numbers, right?
Let's really be honest about where that money is going. Not going toward the community. Why are we spending $2,600 per person? We just gave a hotel voucher. We could have put them in an apartment in some areas.
It's a long time ago.
But you could have bought these motherfuckers their own RV.
Yeah.
Common sense solutions. But you can't expect a motherfucker that's living a Disney Channel life to understand real reality.
With that first line of that, but the rest of it,
you know, it's
100%.
At the end of the day, we are about being treated fairly and having equal treatment. That's all we asking for. We're not asking for $1 million. We're not asking, you know what I'm saying, for the world. You know what I'm saying? We are asking to be treated like human fucking beings, to have fair fucking housing, and to be given the opportunity to get our own land and get our own resources. That's another solution. If these so-called NIMBYs not in our backyard don't want us, okay, like I said, give us a fair shot to get some land. Instead of making it a huge, expensive process, you got to jump through 50 hoops and wait 2 years to get some land. What kind of crap is that? To all the Mitch O'Farrell supporters and to the NIMBYs, understand something. These politicians are only listening to you because you have money right now. Understand that. The moment you wake up tomorrow, your bank account shuts down and you're out here, let's see if it's still your park. I don't want people in my backyard. Okay, when you lose money and then come to this park, let's see if you're still treated the same way. Spoiler alert, you won't be. This is, not only is it just racism, not only is it gentrification, it's class warfare. Look around you at this beautiful fucking park and we got fences out here like it's the penitentiary. And what was the first thing out of Mitch's mouth? Well, we're doing this to kick the homeless out. No, 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 no. He did that to divide you. He wants rich versus poor. It's you against them mentality. See, if you want to get mad at somebody, get mad at the homeless.
Facts.
Mitch O'Farrell, Garcetti, all these politicians from the bottom of my heart, kiss the blackest parts of my ass. We so quick to get caught up in this game of Monopoly. I gotta compete with this person. I gotta be better than this person. Uh-oh, they're poor, so screw them. And while we're busy getting mad at the next person, none of us ask ourselves, who created this board to begin with? Who put us here? Should we be getting mad at the homeless why this park's looking like this, or should we be mad at the people in charge of this damn park with all the resources? We didn't bring 50 cops and security over here.
They brought themselves.
Mitch O'Farrell showed his little punk ass up for 2 minutes and left for a camera opportunity. Notice how none of these politicians were here last week when we did the press conference at City Hall. You know, what it comes down to, like I said before, is class warfare. This is a fight for our freedom. This is a fight for us to be treated right and to get land and resources. And people got to wake up and understand that. You know, we're so quick to judge and you know, you're the problem and this, that, and the third, not understanding this could be you tomorrow. How many people are sitting out here with 2 to 3 college degrees? How many people are sitting here, used to go on tour with the latest bands and they're out here? This is a systematic issue. So, with that being said, this is a movement, this is a fight for our freedom. People can either put a helmet on and get in the game, or they can sit on the sidelines. But understand, for those talking crap on the sidelines, don't criticize the people on the field. Had Mr. Disney Channel over here telling me what I need to do. He's never lived this experience in his life. So at the end of the day, it's about fair treatment. It's about being treated like human beings, plain and simple. That's all we asking for. And if that's a problem to the establishment, then that tells you everything you need to know what's going on. That tells you this is not about money and safety. This is about control. Before you can have freedom, you have to first free your dome. And what is your dome? Your mind. You can't have hatred and animosity and special treatment towards your fellow human and then expect to be free in life. It doesn't work like that. So I'm gonna pass on to the next speaker, and y'all have a good one.
Hey guys, I'm sorry for the really quick. Like I said, you heard a testimony, and like I said, this is one of our strongest leaders that came before me in this park. See, it's a very different thing when you're Hispanic. You could have someone. I never knew Street Watch for the life of me. Never to know that when I needed help, they're the ones that gave me that month of room key. Right now, they're the ones that gave me that hug. That was like, everything's gonna be okay. Look, I'm not perfect. Never aim to be. But you know what? Let's hear from the people that actually lived here. At the end, we're gonna go, but I ask one thing, please have patience. I know like media kind of like, oh, we're not getting the story. You won't get the story until you hear the very last person. Even the most insignificant that you might think is the most significant. Because unless you lived it, you don't know what it is. You wanna know what the problems from here are? Live them, hear them, and see them. I'm gonna give the mic to my neighbor, my friend. Diana, please.
Oh, hi everyone. Thank you for coming out here today. First off, let me say that your time is very important to us and we appreciate it. thank you for helping us spread the word about this very important cause, because really what we're doing out here, we're doing this fight for everybody. This is not just for us. Just like others.
Closer to your mouth.
Oh, sorry about that. Just like others have fought for like the rights that we have right now, like our 8-hour weeks, weekends off, everything that other people have fought for. This is another fight that we're trying to do for everybody, because this is about, we are tired of discrimination, unnecessary discrimination, unnecessary unforced policing. Really, we're tired of all that. All we're trying to do is get our lives together. That's it. That's all we want. We want to be left alone. We're not asking for anything. We want to do it ourselves. And yet we go through these systems that are designed for us to get better. And and it's very obvious why. This is a system that sort of needs us not to succeed. It needs us to be enclosed. It's enclosed within itself for us not to get ahead. Because they need us to sell you a lie that they take away your money, that they use it on us. They don't use the money on us. There has to be fraud on misappropriation of funds here. I have been into 4 shelters, and I have told every single one of them what I needed. Allow me to come in late here. Allow me to work. That's all I ask for. Feed myself and get myself ahead out of this. In every single one of them, sorry, I was actually, and I'm sorry if I'm speaking fast, I'm just a little bit nervous and anxious, so bear with me. Thank you. So I've been into 4 different shelters. None of them, every one of them has worked against me. Every one single of them has actually, and I have no problem providing to anyone, media, wherever, whatever documentation and is needed to prove that every single word I say and everything I speak are actual facts. It has to be some kind of separation fund or something, because they want the money of the taxpayers, and they say that they need it for programs and programs and programs, and then they go and they take all this money, funding, and they said that they're using it on us, when in reality all they're doing is they're creating these programs. They are mistreating us. They are, for example, they're going out and saying, everybody, to you, we have, the numbers are increasing for Project Room Key, and yet they're not disclosing that information to you about how many people they're actually throwing out to get the new people in, to keep on increasing those numbers. They're not disclosing those things to you. They're telling you that this is what they're giving you, numbers that this is how much it's costing for this to be run, when in reality what they're doing is that they're misusing those funds. I don't know how, but the food that we get, the things that they give us, the things that they do for us, is unbelievable. I don't know about you guys, but I don't eat macaroni and pork. I never heard of such a thing. Like, it's the food that it's not even food. Like, I can't even explain it. So obviously the money is not being properly used to take care of us. Even treat us with simple respect. So you are put in situations where you are belligerent, you are harassed over and over again, you are mistreated, and you get an attitude because you're asking for something that someone is there to, that you're getting paid for it to do, and they're taking away from their cell phones, from their personal, and happy to do their jobs. That's not what they're there for. They're there for to help us, to take care of us. So there's a lot of discrimination everywhere, all across the board. And there's a lot of people here with mental problems that do not need that. They need otherwise. They already got enough trauma in their life. They need the proper attention, the proper help. And these organizations, well, I say many of them, not all of them. There are some good organizations out there who are doing an amazing job. LA Street Watch is one of them. There's other ones that I might not know. Project 180, LA Dore, and they're doing an amazing, great job. So excuse me for rephrasing. I have to correct myself. However, what I'm saying is that this has been really. It took me a while to realize that because I lost my job and I couldn't work because of an abusive employer. Really messed me up mentally, where I couldn't hold it together, and I couldn't work anymore. I lost my apartment, and next thing I know, I'm in the streets, and I'm a different person. The only thing that happened is I just started having money. Nothing changed about me, except my situation. I'm starting getting harassed, I'm starting getting treated, I'm starting treated like I'm a drug addict. It's just so many horrible things start happening out here, and it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable because I come from both sides. And I've seen it, I felt it. When I started getting to this park, I was just like you guys. I was staying in my vehicle, I was training my vehicle. I noticed how the community was working here, and I had the mentality too. I'm better. I'm in my car. You know, they're over there, the draggers, stuff like that. I'm not gonna say I won't. And then I had to, when I said that right after, I had to check myself, because I'm like, wait, I'm out here too. What am I talking about? I'm in my car. I'm in the better, but I'm out here too. I just have more resources. So I said, then I started seeing how they were really working with each other, helping each other in the kitchen, in charging the phones, and getting clothes and things. So eventually, after meeting a few people, I was offered if I wanted to have a tent to sleep there. At the beginning, I would say I rejected it because of the stigmatism that I was still on. The thing I think was there for like 2 weeks. And afterwards, when I really joined the community and I really seen that and I stepped out of the box and I did what I did, it was an experience for me. It was really an experience for me. Because I get to be part of the community that we kept each other safe. We look after each other. We were not asking for anybody. We didn't want anybody to do anything for us. We just wanted to get out of the situation and help others in our situation. Because not unless you go through this situation, you don't understand what it's like. You can comprehend it as much as you want to, and you can think you do, but you do not. And anybody who has gone to this situation knows exactly what I'm talking about. Sorry, excuse me, I catch my breath. With that said in mind, when I became part of the community, there were a lot of things that happened that I really enjoyed. For example, is that I really did not care about stigmatism, about judgment, about anybody. I became happy with the person that I became, with what I was doing every day. And the rest what anybody had to say about anything, it didn't matter to me. So I'm here because I want everybody to know and understand one thing. If you're not part of the problem, if you're not part of the solution, I'm sorry about that, you're part of the problem. So if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. I'm sorry for that. You don't have to do, and nobody has to do absolutely nothing you don't have to do anything for anybody. You know, we're all individuals ourselves. But what you do have to do is you do have to stop the stereotyping, the stigmatism, the looking down on people. Just give them a simple smile. That does enough. That's it. Everybody can give a smile, right? You can look at somebody, give them a smile, make your day better, and make their day better. So I have a thing that I always say, and I live by this. You know, don't look down upon somebody unless you're giving them your hand to get them back up.
All right, guys, thank you so much. You've heard an experience of someone, and honestly, like I want to ask you guys a question. If you were to look at her, would you guys think that she's homeless? No. You know why? Because being homeless, being poor, being unhoused is not a crime. That doesn't make us criminals. That doesn't make us dirty. That doesn't make us less than anybody. I'm still here, and I look as nice as you guys, and I take a shower every day. Don't judge what you see based on that. Get to know someone. Really quickly up, I want to introduce someone that was one of our newest arrivals to the park, but she kind of brought like a special touch, and we always were glad to see her. We were always glad to talk to her. Honestly, I don't think I've ever told her that, but I'm quite proud of her because everything she dealt with, she held inside, and she would come out whenever she needed to see a smile. But I want to say that she knew that she could because we were here. Please, I want to give everybody my friend Celine, so she can give her experience. It's a little difficult for her, but please.
Hello. Hi. Yeah. My experience, how I ended up in the park is I was a victim of abuse, and I contacted a domestic violence hotline, and they said all the shelters were full, so I had basically nowhere else to go. So someone told me about this place, so I came here. I was very pleasantly surprised how they run and organised everything. I was really impressed with that. I'm not a drug user, I don't even really smoke or drink, and I don't think I have any mental health issues. So the labeling and stigmatization, that homeless people are like that is actually incorrect. I found it was a very pleasant community. I actually felt very safe here. The majority of people were very good people. We all helped each other. We had plenty of food donations, and I had a very pleasant experience here. I'm against these travel bloggers coming here for one day with their own agenda and biased against homeless people, and just coming here and labeling us as criminals, as drug addicts, just for their own agenda. That I felt personally was very wrong. They don't tell the whole story. They give a very negative. They give a very negative picture of homelessness. I'm currently staying in the hotel at the moment, the Grand. It's not. It's very isolating there. We have our own room, and we're not really allowed to kind of talk to each other or see each other. And we're only allowed in the smoking area for 10 minutes. So it's very isolating there, which is that's very bad for people that have mental health issues. They put people there, they talk about mental health issues, but they don't seem to correct that or have an adequate treatment or program for that. They just round people up and put them in here and don't it seems like to me it seems like they're just recycled out and put back out on the street, and that's a very bad system that they have.
Whose house? Our house. Whose house? Our house. Whose house? Our house.
Wow. See, even from beyond, they want us to keep going.
All right, guys. I want to say thank you one more time, and I'm going to say this for the special channel, Spanish channel. Les quiero agradecer el tiempo que están tomando para venir hoy a oír lo que ha pasado a consecuencia del desplazamiento de muchas de las personas que vivieron aquí. Ya no estamos peleando por lo que pasó, ya no estamos peleando por quién se fue, qué se destruyó, qué se tiró. Estamos peleando porque gente se está muriendo en estos cuartos que la ciudad los puso. Y aparte de eso, que una comunidad, no solamente desplazaron a 150 personas, desplazaron a la familia de esos 150 personas. Ok, rápidamente les quiero introducir a otra persona que ha influenciado mucho, y ¿saben qué? Toma mucho decir, es que quise, pude, pero no lo hice. And I'm going to say that in English because I think it's worth it. It's a lot if you say, I could have, I should have, I would have. But you didn't. We didn't. This is a new start. This isn't about Mitch right now. This isn't about us. This is about the park. Yeah. We need to find a new future for the park. This is a clean start, right? I don't see where the billions of dollars that he invested went into, but it's a clean start, right? No. Start off by mending off the people that you kicked up and swept under the rug when this park was habited. This fence is only symbolic to you. If you don't tear it down, somebody from our community will, or you'll end up doing it yourself. You know why? This is our park. This is not your park. This is a place of nature, of healing, and of serenity, and of family, and that's what we're gonna enforce. Please have patience, like I said, bear with me. It might be long or you might not know, but like someone said previous to me, if you don't live it, if you haven't endured it, you don't know the pain of it. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. Give 5 more minutes, give 10 more minutes to a story that might just catch your eye. It did me, and that's why I'm here. Next up, I want to call Cece. She's one of our strongest warriors, and honestly, when I feel like I'm down, she gets me right back up.
Hi, I'm Cece. I've been staying at Echo Park for 7 months because I actually had housing during Corona, but my house is an unsafe shelter for me because of my background and what I've been through. Like what Mitch O'Farrell and Eric Garcetti don't acknowledge about affordable housing. First of all, that's a myth. Like there are no affordable houses left in this state. Like, can we just take a moment to acknowledge that? That like they're sending us out here after false hope. It's a lie. And then second of all, it's not acknowledging that these kinds of structures don't work after you've been outside. Like after you've been unsheltered, after you've gone through the kind of shit that we've gone through. Like after you've been incarcerated, after you've lost your dignity, your ability to take care of yourself because the police are taking it out of your hands in different carceral settings. Because I'm telling you, like my friends up in these hotel rooms, like the way they're describing it to me, these are carceral conditions. People aren't allowed to have friends up there. If you've been locked up and separated from your friends and family, like you know what kind of mental torture that is to not be able to see your friends, your family, and your community. And that's the other thing is that like just because we stayed in this park, just because we advocated for ourselves during Corona, just because we had a pantry and a kitchen and showers and a garden, just because we were able to spend time together and create these things that we imagined up together and then brought them into reality. And now they want to separate us. They want to put us up into these hotel rooms because we were solving these issues when the city gave us nothing. We were providing our own masks, hygiene kits, hand washing. And now they're profiling us as dirty. They displaced us from the park violently. They arrested hundreds of people who came out to support us, our neighbors who were providing for us during Corona. It wasn't coming out of Garcetti's pockets. It wasn't coming out of O'Farrell's tax dollars, whatever, how he makes his money. It was coming from the community, and they arrested us and locked us up just for defending what we had created together because we were figuring out how to solve these problems that come around the lack of affordable housing in California. Because these houses lock us up and keep us separate, so then we turn on one another and we think that homeless people, just people who stay outside are pariahs, that they're dirty. Like, since this time, I'm not kidding you, like people have been spreading lies that people from Echo are carrying lice and scabies into shelters. How about that? When they destroyed our shower, they kicked us out of here the day they took our showers out. It's just like that kind of hypocrisy, like that takes away, like they're just trying to erase the fact that we are actually a family, that we actually are a community here, and that we are a community of neighbors who really took care of each other during these challenging times. And like honestly, it's been rough, but like I'm just really hopeful today that we're all able to stand up here together again, and it just feels really good to be up here with people who I saw before, and just to know that we're able to be back together and standing here together today. So yeah, thank you for being here.
Like I said, guys, if you hear frustration, if you hear anger, if you're just like, what the hell, it's because people are tired. I am tired. I'm not gonna, you know what happened like maybe like half an hour ago? There's a difference between police restraining and police abusing. I'm sorry, when a cop comes under my shoulder right here and tells me to stop, but when he squishes 2 times on my breast, I'm sorry. And you know what's gonna happen? Nothing. This officer cupped my breast while I was going over there trying to stop him from hurting one of my co-protesters, And we have it on camera. I let him know twice, don't touch my breast. And I'm looking at him like, you just squished my breast. It goes down to a simple noun of kindergarten. They are under the best disguise they can. There is no greater gang in LA than the Blue Gang. We did not segregate ourselves. We did not push each other aside. We did not go out of our boundaries. They pushed us out. I just kind of want to add one more thing. Everybody you know what? You guys think, this is the first time I run something. But you know what? I want to give thanks to everybody. To you guys that are enduring the sun. To you guys that are hearing. To someone that catch their eye. To this person right here who, that night that I got swept out, took me to my hotel room to make sure I didn't have to sleep in the street. This one right here. He doesn't ask nothing. But you know what? I consider him one of my best and closest friends. Friends aren't what you have when you need trouble or when you have trouble. Friends are the ones that give you a blanket, a plate of food. Right. They didn't give anything. On the contrary, they stopped organizations from coming. You never went hungry. You never went cold. You never needed a friend here. But they stopped all that. You know what the worst thing is? Nobody won with this park closure. We all lost. If you're not making their millions, you're not on the pay grade. Thank you. Really quickly, I'm going to also ask one more. We're going to have like 2 or 3 more testimonies, but really quickly before I forget. My partner and I have not made this shy. The reason why I did not take Project Roomkey because I'm a grown-ass woman. I'm 32. I gave birth to 5 kids and 1 granddaughter, and yeah, I'm 32. I do the math. The circumstances, I fought it, and I went over that too. I'm proud. I'm proud because I know deep down inside, they know what I'm fighting for. But on a quick note, Wall Street couldn't be here today because he had to take care of some other issues. But one thing, and I'm going to quote him, he says, why is it called Project Roomkey? It should be called Project No Key. People don't have rooms. People don't have keys to their own room. You don't have privacy. You could be taking a shit and they'll barge in on you. And they're going to tell you you should be grateful because we're giving you a roof. I'd rather live in the street.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, but I'm an immigrant. For those of you that know the legalities of it, when you do taxes with an I-10, you don't get the full amount. You get 1/3 of it. And yet every year since I was 16, and before that, I went downtown and I sold corn ever since I was 6 years old. My mother, you want to know who the best president of this country is? An undocumented? In my opinion, a Mexican woman, because she can feed a child with $5. She can feed a whole family with $6. She can make a Thanksgiving a feast with nothing but scraps. If you don't care about yourself, how can you pretend to care about your community? These are people that are in your community, your neighbors. You see them every morning. I used to be your neighbor, and now I'm here. Care for yourself, because at this point, nobody else does. Pandemic, we lost everything. Financially, we lost everything. We're equal. Now we are equal. And the people that pretend that we're not, they're living in a lie. Really quickly, I want to introduce someone else, but again, to quote Wall Street, he says it should be called Project No Key, because you have no freedom except carceral housing. I want house keys, not handcuffs. Really quickly, the next person that's gonna kind of talk a little bit about this is gonna be someone that I'm gonna say this really quick, and whenever you guys want to take it. But honestly, I extend my hand out because you couldn't pay a black brother to walk these streets 30 years ago, and today I'm glad that we don't see through gender, we don't see through race. From north to south, from east to west, we are one. We are only one.
How you guys doing?
The other one, Rick.
How you guys doing?
Woo!
I'm from Miami. I'm from Miami, Florida. I came out here for school and music. Criminal justice student, certified in phlebotomy and EKG. I've been out here for about 2.5 years. I stayed right over there. And the park, I was brought here because, when I became homeless because of COVID. The first day literally, when I bought a tent and I placed it in Skid Row. The first day I placed a tent in Skid Row, and I actually work in Martin Luther King Hospital as a server down in the basement, where we serve, you know, patients, COVID patients and all that stuff or whatever. The moment I came back, all of my stuff was gone, the whole tent, like it was never there. I heard about this park and then I came. Ever since I came to this park, I didn't have any problems. But when there were problems here, there were a group of us, small handful, me, Cece, Iman, Ashley. We started Echo Park Rise Up, where we were receiving donations, food, money, whatever was whatever was needed, and we supplied everyone here who was mentally disabled or physically, and until they all, you know, until the government took it away, Mitchell Farrell and whatever his name is, you know. This was not a bad community. This was a community where people looked to, and this was a community where people came and said, yo, my stuff is going to be safe here. My body, my mind is going to be safe here. Because mind you, I still go to school. Like, you know, like I'm a criminal justice student. No one in my school knows I'm homeless. Well, now they probably will at the 8 o'clock news, but, you know, it is what it is. For a long time, I've been thinking about if I actually wanted to come in front of camera and actually say this and talk to the people. But I have to let you guys know that they are not treating us well. I'm one of the ones that's living in the Hotel Grand, the Grand LA, and it's not fair how they're treating us. Mind you, I said I'm a criminal justice student, so I know what's right and wrong, right? So they're not treating us like humans. They don't feed us like humans. Mind you, I also said that I'm a phlebotomist and EKG technician, meaning I'm a medical assistant. I know what's healthy. I know that they would not feed the president or their children that stuff. In the past, when I was living in Miami, yeah, I've been in jail before, and that is the same as jail food. But to be honest, they feed you way more servings, better servings, of course, in jail than inside the LA Grand. Is that fair to us? No. I'm not gonna lie, the people of the community, when they came and donated to the kitchen way over there, we were eating good. I mean, sometimes we had steak, fish, shrimp, you know what I'm saying? Some of the vegan restaurants actually came around and donated to us. You know what I'm saying? Every Wednesday, Friday, we had meetings about what should take place. How can it be safe? What we're gonna do? How we're gonna clean? It's not fair that, you know, they're just saying all these things without giving the proof and the facts. Because we all know that, you know, it's like probably, I might be wrong, but 80% lies and 20% truth. But everything that you hear today is the truth. From the ones who's actually living it, who's living in the Grand Hotel, who's living out here in this park. Everything is real. You know, it's not fake. Anyone can end up in this situation. I never thought that I would be homeless coming here into California. I'm from Miami, Florida, mind you. And I go to school and I work. I have 5 different jobs, literally. And during the start of COVID, I couldn't work at least 4 of them because why? Because they stopped everything. Everything was they had an emergency what they call it lockdown at the beginning of COVID. So it stopped everything for a long time for me financially. I could have still been in my home, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm living in the LA Grand, and I'm just really glad that I came here to tell my story so you guys can really understand and feel both sides. You know what I'm saying? Because like without an understanding, you guys will never know. You only you're going to know what the media tells you and what Mitchell Farrell and Garcetti is going to say. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Alright guys, I'm sorry if I'm laughing, but that was one of the greatest examples of free will. Coming on through, he paid his dues, he has a right to come on through. That's right. Alright, really quickly guys, I'm gonna have something that was brought to my attention that I think we haven't emphasized because you guys think homeless, and that's general. I know. Someone brought up a very good point to me, and which is one of the reasons why I've been fighting. Women. And I'm going to make it as brutal and as honest as you can so you can see the difficulty. There are women here that use books for tampons. There are women here that use shirts and cut them up and use for pads. There are women...
That's another bad thing about the hotel is that they don't have any of that we used to get.
Women, so I'm sorry, you're putting women in a house where they don't have tampons? Even since before we have our women's rights, we had tampons, we had pads. Yeah. I'm sorry, but
and they don't give that in the hotel.
That's another way. So you're saying we have to limit ourselves into our job, our income, because we have to be in from 7 to 7 or from 12 to 4. We're supposed to have and make an income and have a good salary. We don't even afford enough to buy pads. How sad is that? Just to keep that for food for thought. Another, I want to just introduce someone really quick. Honestly, I've heard of him, but I hadn't really met him until today. And the devotion and the passion that he showed, he brought a certain point to me. It doesn't matter if you grew up here. My 30 years here don't matter. If you care about this community and you have a heart, you're in the right place. Please give it up for my friend, Dre.
How y'all doing today? My name is John from Fresco. I'm gonna give you guys a short bright off of my story. I was released from prison 2 years ago. Since then, I've done everything in my power to get out of the situation of being homeless. I was working a 12-hour. I was working a job. I got into the rapid rehousing program. The rapid rehousing program. I was in PATH. After that, while I was in that program, I was also involved in a community bridges program where they're supposed to help you get back on your feet. While I was in that program, my mail was being taken from me. I had people being accused of stuff happening to me in this facility. I ended up having my stuff being stolen from this facility. When I tried to go get my stuff, it was taken from me. So once that situation happened to me, I ended up going to school. Okay, so while I'm in school, I ended up getting a job, working 12-hour shifts. While during that time, I'm seeking housing, desperately seeking housing. I'm applying for housing and so forth. I'm getting denied for housing. They're simply telling me because of my background history and because of I have no rental history. I had $3,600 saved up at the time while I'm paying for rooms so I won't end up on the street. Due to the pandemic, I ended up losing my job at the time. I was a super med rep. Now I'm still finishing my externship, but now I'm sleeping on buses. I end up having to resort to sleeping in a tent again. And to me, it's just unnecessary. To me, just like this brother here, we're doing positive things, and we're still in a situation that is systematically designed for us to fail. There's no help. I've literally asked everyone that I can think of that's in power or in charge, can you please help me get out of this situation? And they have not helped me. So when I sit here and I look around at my fellow brothers, my fellow sisters out here who are on the streets, because this isn't just me. I at one time had my family out here struggling. So when I sit here and I tell you that this is unnecessary, it's inhumane, there's no love, there's no compassion, it's way past discrimination, it's hatred. It's hatred for a gate to be around the fence. It's hatred for people to look at people on the streets or on the trains and just walk past them like they're not nothing. Let's really look at the problem here. First of all, pandemic. We don't have no restrooms. We can't go to the restroom anywhere, so why are you mad if there's shit and pee everywhere, excuse my language, when there's nowhere to even use the restroom? Showers. Where can we publicly shower if we're homeless? Where at? The only way that you can publicly shower that I know of is if you get a gym membership or anything like that. Other than that, these people can't shower. It's inhumane for these people not to have these things taken care of on a daily basis. And let's talk about the women. I'm pretty sure that they're facing so many different predators, not only just criminally, I'm talking about police. Just because they have a badge does not make them honest. Does not make them innocent.
Yes.
Why do y'all think they have a badge? Why do y'all think that because they have a badge, they know better than anyone? They're human beings. They have behaviors and they have systematic problems like everyone else. They're not better than nobody. These are the things that I feel that need to be addressed. These are the things that need to be taken care of. If there's people in charge, how come they're not doing their job? If we're paying taxes, if we're going to work, if we're going to school, we should not be on the street. If we're doing these things to systematically get out of this situation that, truthfully, I don't think any of these people deserve to be in. I don't think I wouldn't wish this situation on any one human being, period. No one deserves to go through this. No one deserves to feel like they're less than nothing. No one deserves to have any of these emotions go through their vibration of their body or their soul. I personally think that it's a time for a change now, an urgency, so that we can see that the situation is needed of love and compassion for not just the community, but for one another as human beings. That's all I have to say today.
Alright guys, so like again, you are hearing stories that, sometimes when I see this press conference, I know it's deadline and, you need to let go. But honestly, you may see it, and I'm thankful for the group that stayed. You know why? Because I'm going to share a little surprising event we're going to be having within the coming weeks. And that event, you will not only see us. I can almost guarantee you almost see double the people that were here on March 24th. We have 3 more speakers before we wrap up really quick. But I want to give like 1 minute to one topic that kind of hits home. And I'm going to say why. My life is not a secret for anybody. Just because I don't want no one pulling up dirt for me. 3-4 days ago, I had to pick a picture out of a lineup. On January 30th, while I was looking for work, not here because we were already getting stories that we couldn't be here. And I didn't want to get arrested. So I had to leave. I left for maybe like less than a week. I ended up getting raped. Not here. Over there, like where, it's supposed to be nice and safe, and where it was. Where there's cameras and where there's police coming all around. Where were they when I had to pick up that lineup? Where were they when I woke up at 4 in the morning? Not knowing what had happened to me. Like I said, I can give you a long list of why people end up here. Our circumstances do not define our situation. We are human. We are not criminals. We are not breaking any laws. We are not here to steal. All we want is a good, running, legitimate, affordable, long-lasting start, which is what everybody wants. You tell me, if someone does not perpetrate your home with your children, will you not defend it? We have been ripped from our land for many years. I have been told I have no right. I have been told I have no voice. I found my voice. Yeah. The group that you see now is going to be nothing to the group that's going to come. And you know what, at the end of the day, what we want and what we end up walking away say, excuse me, but I'm going to say this. Yeah, bitch. We're here. You took off running. We stayed here. Put that gas money into good use. Feed the kids from this community. Because you didn't displace adults. You displaced at least 5 children from this park that we all watched out for. We all knew where those kids were. I personally helped them take out the trailer, restart it, because no one could use. I'm an electrician, so I know how to use power tools, and I know how to use the words. Really quickly, I'm gonna pass you over to to a few more people. She wants to give a point, which I think is very important. She's gonna share that with us really quick. After that, we have 2 more speakers, and then we're gonna end up with basically what the goals, what came out of it, and the fact that if we want to make an improvement, all of us, you know what? Even him, he wants to even show his face. He needs to do some redemption, and we're gonna hold him to it. I'm gonna hold him to it, and that's the blood of my native ancestors. My mother that's India Yaqui. My father that's Oaxacan. My mother that sold corn. My dad that sold shoes. My children that played on these grass. that ran on these fields and me that protected this home even before you guys came. Again, I'm going to introduce, Diana, I'm sorry, Diana?
Hi. Well, thank you. So I came back to the microphone because I wanted to say something that I might have forgot earlier. So Echo Park was a community that we kept each other safe. Now here's the reason. I know you guys are, for all of you guys who are very smart and intelligent, which most of you, all of you here, if you ask yourself, how long have you had Skid Row there? A long time. How come they don't get rid of it? And I'm going to tell you why. When COVID hit, the government and all of its agencies basically disregarded us. They closed everything down. In LA, there is a spot called Refresh, the only spot in all LA County for all homeless to go to, okay? And they shut it down for 2 to 3 months. So they basically said to other homeless people, screw you. Now, when COVID pandemic started, this is when all of it began. So the world shut us down. And I'm gonna tell you why they're spending so much money, some energy to really attack us and threaten us out. Because we are a threat. And I'm gonna tell you how we are a threat, okay? During COVID, when we were shut down, the whole world shut us down entirely, we became a community and we survived and we thrived with each other, with the community, with the resources that we had. So while the government was telling everybody, stay in your home, you need us, we protect you, we do this, go home, and panicking everybody out, and left us out here, and left us scared, like we were gonna die next, we did the opposite. We united together, we survived, and we thrived. So that's why we are a threat, because for the world to see what we can do, that there's no government agency that you need to protect you, that you can work with your neighbors and your community to keep you safe and to succeed and to thrive. So that's why they're spending $2 million on the police here. That's why they're doing everything that they're doing. They don't want you to see what we're capable of as independent thinkers, as human beings. They want you to see. Let me tell you why they haven't gotten rid of Skid Row. They haven't gotten rid of Skid Row because that's what is needed to sell you the lie that they're selling you, to take away the money, to tell you that we are a problem and that they are fixing it. No, they are the problem. Okay? They're using us, our situation, and creating an enclosed system for us not to get out of here so they can keep on benefit you, selling you lies. They're all here, it's only drugs. I'm so sorry. No. If you are really smart and you cannot, it's only drugs? Then you got to be stupid. I'm sorry. Become smart and realize that there's people out here who are doing drugs. There's people out here who have mental health. There's out here who don't have family. There's teenagers, all kinds. Okay. However, that's the reason why it's spending so much energy, so much money doing what they're doing. Because we are a threat. What we did when the world shut us out. We came together. We worked together as a community. We survived and we thrived. In the world, and everybody was seeing it in the park. We were not. If anybody goes to Skid Row, that thing has been there for 20, 30 years. Just Google, talk to people. The horrible things that happen every single day. Nothing compared to what's happening here. What we had here was a safe community. We kept women safe. Where can you go to keep women safe? That's the reason why I joined the community. That's why my story, her story, and her story aligns. That's why I joined them. That's why I invested my time and my money and everything, energy that I got for this fight right now. Because I'm doing also this. I have children. I want them. I want to change a world for all of us. And going through this, it's sickening. So I want everybody to know that we need your help. We need your support because we cannot do this without you. And we are here to tell you the truth about what's really going on in this whole system that you are being lied to by the government agencies and politicians and everybody. And here's one last thing that I would like to say. It is a very key point. The most important person in all of our communities is your local politician, like this guy. He can make your life a living nightmare. Presidents, governors, all I have, they don't never, nothing with you. Your local politician is the one that matters. So if we want to create change, that's how we need to create change. Thank you for your time and thank you for everything again.
All right, guys, once again, I want to thank you guys for your patience. Like I said, I mean, if you see frustration and if you see everybody wants to say what they've gone through in like 2 minutes, but realistically it's impossible. But I want you guys to see the frustration. Look, you're gonna only live it and see it 100 times over. Hear it so we can understand it. Really quickly, we have another member. He's gonna give his testimony in Spanish, and I can tell you, I've been here for 30 years, and this man, I grew up seeing him work at my closest market. Please, one of our strongest leaders and one of our strongest Mexican leaders that I have ever known, and honestly someone that I inspire to be every day, because when you're tired, you're tired. When you need to eat, you're gonna eat. When you need to take shelter, you're gonna take shelter. And I'm sorry if you see no cover up in our voices. We're kind of tired. Once again, I want to introduce you guys to Gustavo. He actually helped run one of our greatest achievements here. For those of you that didn't know, we had kitchen, we had a garden, there was books, we had a power-up table provided by Street Watch Echo Park. We had everything we ever needed. You never went hungry. We had spiritual food, we had a church, we had friends, we had a congregation. We had everything that no society, no city, no place right now has, because they're in it for themselves. We're in it to make sure our neighbors don't go hungry, don't go cold, and have some kind of peace after the mental hardship that you've gone through. Once again, I want to introduce you guys to Gustavo. Please give him a round of applause. Woo!
Hello, my name is Gustavo Tsoy. I'm going to say this in English. Hi, my name is Gustavo Tsoy. I want you to appreciate every single one of you for being here. There's a reason for us to be here. You, the media, are here for a reason. We are here for a reason. You are here to find out the truth. We are the truth. And this is what's really happening. We are being discriminated. Why? Because we have nowhere to sleep. Nowhere at all. And that's not right. Instead of judging us, we are drug users, this and that. Why you judge us like that? This is the opportunity for all of us to do something, to thank God. Instead of judging us that we are drug users, that when there's truth we have not to sleep. This is an opportunity for all of us to say, thank you, God, because I have a room where to sleep. Thank you, God, for giving me the chance to help these people that have nowhere to sleep. Just let's get all together. We are brothers and sisters. When you die, you don't take anything, nothing. Those rich people, they really think that they're gonna take like 1 cent. No, they won't. When we die, we just go with our hands open, with nothing. So why not to think? No, this is our chance. Let's give thanks to our Creator for just being here. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, I don't know if you guys could see, but that, I wanted it to be in Spanish, but in English, I guess. Maybe, you know why? Because we've been subjected to the language barrier for so long that we just kind of adapted, and that was our #1 mistake. We adapted. We shouldn't have. I'm sorry. We should not adapt to any regulation, formation, or creation that is not. I speak for me. I fear no one or nothing except the one above. That's my personal belief. Throughout the whole day, I've been meditating and I've been asking myself, what can I say that's going to touch my people? And I could just say one thing, and I'm going to say it in Spanish. Mi gente, su sangre ya está cansada de que la pisen. Mi gente, sus hijos ya están cansados de vivir en un lugar que no pertenecen. Mi gente, hemos vivido aquí toda una vida y aún no tenemos nada. No tenemos derecho a lo básico, no tenemos derecho a lo que la gente toma como nada. Y somos los que creamos este lugar, somos los que trabajamos con el trabajo de día a día, el sudor de la frente, no sabiendo si la íbamos a lograr el día siguiente, porque siendo hispano, chicano aquí, era peor que Istelé. Yo sobreviví esos años. Yo no los viví, los sobreviví. Y tengo un derecho de querer que los años que me quedan sean algo pacífico. And I'm going to say this in English. My people, and I'm talking to the Mexicans, the Hispanics, the call I've been calling out. Anyone that's felt out of place, yes, anyone that's felt out of place, anyone that's been reprimanded, anyone that's been segregated, anyone that's been pushed aside by the system, set up to fail for the system, to only for them to come and get you. We gave you this, we saved you. My kids are in foster home right now, and I can give you, and I can even pawn my soul that they would rather be eating rice and beans and be with me than be in that fancy house. Family isn't, we're not fighting for luxury hotels, we're not fighting for payoffs, we're not fighting for money. All we're fighting for is give us a running start. Fine, you don't want us in the park, give us a reasonable solution. I've been seeing my people kicked out, moms and pop shops that made you guys happy, that made your grandparents happy, made everybody happy. Where are they? I'm barely even paying their mortgages or our neighbors. My mother sold corn for 16 years. My dad proudly sold shoes. I am proud to say I'm Mexican. But you know what? Are you proud to be you? If you care about yourself, you're going to care about this community. You're going to take care of it. It doesn't matter if you're white, you're black, you're Asian. Doesn't matter no more. If you were displaced, if you came to this park looking for mental sanity, for anything, and you found that gate, they were against you too. Do something about it. Really quickly again, I'm going to introduce and we're going to wrap up really quick. I want to again bring up Phoenix because like I said, part of this that descended as of this, it's called UTAC. It's an organization that basically is a baby right now, but basically what we're saying is, okay, you put us in rooms, we followed it. 20 people, if not, have died. Over 1/3 of them have mental illness.
They highlight the overdoses in the park. They don't talk about
1/3
the overdoses in the hotel.
Exactly, and they don't even have Narcan to fucking counter solution that. The people there are not trained for anything except antagonizing the people there. I'm gonna leave Phoenix just because like I want to keep you guys like on a time loop, and also I can speak for hours. Walk around the park and just imagine what I walk around. I'm undocumented. I got no papers. I'm an electrician, but that don't mean crap. That don't mean anything. I'm an inside journeyman. I was getting paid $68 an hour. Now I don't get nothing. I'm negative, and still yet I don't ask anything from them. If you're not gonna take from us, if you're not gonna give us, don't take from us. Once again, I want to introduce Phoenix, who's one of our strongest leaders, and he's one of the leaders from UTAC.
Let's give everybody here a round of applause who showed up today. We came out, we did our thing today. Yes, sir. Want to thank everybody out here that showed up, that spoke their mind, that has something to say. Sorry, I'm fucking up here. What it all comes down to at the end of the day is what everybody's been saying here. This was a community. These politicians can spin all the bull crap they want to spin and say, we saved you. You didn't save us from jack shit. You know what I'm saying? You didn't save us from nothing. Again, it is a product of cultural conditioning. Well, you're broke, so you need help. You're broke, so there must be something wrong with you. Isn't that what the colonizers did to the Native Americans, to our ancestors, to my ancestors? Oh, they're savages because they're living life different than how we envision it. So there must be something wrong with them. It comes down to we had a community and it scared the shit out of me. What it comes down to is we were taking care of ourselves. We had the community gardens. I used to box out here with brothers. I used to train out here. We used to, go over today's mathematics. We used to instill knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I talked with brothers that, and shout out to Devon, who went back out to the East Coast. He was saying, I want to build a school for these kids. Let's teach these kids the real history. How can you have a grasp and an understanding of the world if you don't know who you are? I stand tall as the Asiatic black man right here. I'm proud of who the hell I am. I'm proud of these two brothers coming out here and speaking their piece. Because let's call this what it is. It's gentrification, and the brother said it best. It's pure hate. Well, if you guys just leave, if you guys just go along with the bullshit, let me tell y'all something. History is a motherfucker.
Facts.
I mean, history is a motherfucker. Let's take it back to Tulsa, Oklahoma, when a bunch of brothers and sisters built their own land and had their resources and were feeding themselves, and the government came and set they shit on fire. What was the excuse then? Well, you're in our public parks. You're in it. No. They bought their own land. They put their blood, sweat, and tears into building their foundation, and the government still came after them. Let's call this what it is. Class warfare. Capitalism. If you look up the Constitution of 1871, it tells you America is still a crown colony to England. They're telling you this is a corporation. We don't give a fuck about your needs. Who is you? Why do you think, let's show and prove, because I know people are going to throw out the word conspiracy, which anything man-made is a conspiracy. All the word conspire means is to plan. This is a conspiracy. Somebody planned to create a notebook. Somebody planned to build a cell phone. What are we talking about? Why do you think cops have a quota? When they say protect and serve, that's to protect and serve the United States corporation, not the people. What you thought this was? When you have a quota, that means what? You are working for a corporation. You know, it's funny. There was a time where Mitch O'Farrell and a lot of these rich folks, they didn't want to know what had anything to do with this park. Or MacArthur, or any of these other parks. Now all of a sudden, they want to come in and slide on in and make themselves cozy. Not in my backyard. Last time I checked, the earth was for all of us, not who's rich and who's this and who's that.
I have to say something. In my 30 years of life here, I have yet to see a cop and bike here in my life. I have not even when people getting murdered down the street. I had yet to see horses here.
Yeah.
What kind of game are you pulling? They ain't gonna be here all day. They're just trying to pull a stunt, and you know what? We see right through them because they get paid for it. We don't.
Yeah. Let me finish this up. But yeah, what she said, you know, they're pawns to the game. You know, the reason why they came after this shit now is because they saw people organizing. They saw people building and said, oh no, we can't have this. Who do you think y'all are? It's so beautiful, you know. Today's date is 26. Today's mathematics is wisdom and quality, all being born to build or destroy. 2 plus 6 equals 8. 8 gives you your build or destroy. And how perfectly fitting, you saw that play out in action today, didn't y'all? You saw the people like us who are living this, who are here to build. I gave you a whole list of solutions. And you saw these Disney Channel motherfuckers over here to destroy. Which takes us back to this day, build and destroy. There are those that are going to be here to build. There are those that are going to come with solutions. And there are going to be those that are here to destroy. Which are you? There's no neutral. You're either in this or you're not. As a black man, trust me, I know what it's like to be disrespected, discredited. Okay. You know, it's funny. They say, you know, oh, you don't have anything to contribute. It's a money thing. Who do you think's making most of your fucking money? Who's on, when you look at most of these sports teams, who is on most of these teams? Black men. But it's funny, we good enough when we shooting a three-pointer. Oh, we good enough when we throwing a 60-yard bomb for a touchdown. But when it's time to speak our shit and we go through our struggles, oh, you're just a complainer.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, King.
You're a terrorist. Black nationalism.
Hey, you're emotional.
You know what I'm, yeah, you're emotional. We just had a brother in George Floyd get killed last year. It took a whole year to arrest this fucking killer. And here's the kicker. The Asian hate thing, and I'm not crapping on it, but you see how quick they passed that bill. Hey, Don't mess with those Asians. We had a black man killed on national television. Where is our laws and bills being passed at? I don't want to make this all about race because the word race means competition. And this is what it all comes down to. We are the pieces on the monopoly board.
That's the proper word. Race.
Instead of getting mad, instead of competing and saying, I'm better than this person and I'm better than you, ask yourself, who put us on this motherfucker? Who put us on this monopoly board to begin with? Indigenous people built this shit. We built America. From the blacks, from the Mexicans, the Latinos, on down up. So for these rich motherfuckers to come in and say, yeah, we don't want you in here because we're embarrassed and we're uncomfortable. Well, you know, if you're uncomfortable, take your punk ass to Sesame Street. How about that?
Sitting around for days.
We are human beings. We have every right just to be here, just as y'all do. Going back to today's mathematics, build or destroy. We showed you the bandits. We showed you the solutions. We got land just sitting here saying, hey, use me, I'm here. Abandoned schools, abandoned malls, hey, use me. It's funny, y'all got time to hire all these cops and pay them $65 an hour to police you, but you don't have time to house people? How much gas cost for that fucking helicopter that was flying over about an hour ago? That was probably 10 homes just right there, just off of one smooth flight. You're going to see the ways and actions. You're going to see who's here to build, who's here to destroy. We still here. Them Disney Channel motherfuckers is gone. Mr. Nice Man with the clean suit, he's gone. I didn't hear not one solution come out of his mouth other than, well, you're the problem. You need to move. You need to, people are feeling uncomfortable. Let me ask y'all something. If that was the case, we're such bad criminals, we're such thugs and shit, why do we have so many people going out their way to feed us and feed us good? Exactly. We was eating like Bobby motherfucking Flay. Like Emerald goddamn Lagasse. Giving us blankets, giving us shelter. I had people just come to our tent and just talk. Hey, I just want to share some knowledge and wisdom with you, man. You got to have knowledge and wisdom in order to have an understanding. 1 + 2 = 3. It's a simple mathematics. How can you say you have a solution to the problem you do not understand and you've never been a part of? The community he had was love, and it was just that community, unity. If people were truly that terrified, terrorized, they wouldn't come within 5 feet of us. You know, again, at the end of the day, it's about ways and actions. Let's not listen to the words. Let's not blindly say, let's not blindly turn to the television and say, well, Anderson Cooper said. We have our own minds. Let's do the research. Let's think for ourselves. Yeah. I tell people every day, do the research and think. You shouldn't be blind. I don't even want you to blind listen to everything I'm saying. Go do the research for yourself. Look up that Constitution of 1871. Look up what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. History books don't lie. What this really was an act of terrorism. We were here minding our business, taking care of ourselves, and they said, no, you got to do it under our watch, under our thumb, under how we want you. You want it, yeah? So we can paint the narrative. That's all good. Let the corrupt be the corrupt. My uncle used to tell me a great saying. He said, let the grasshoppers talk and let the ants continue to build. When winter comes, we're going to see who's looking stupid. Grasshoppers love to do a lot of this, and meanwhile the ants were what? Building. Gathering, storing food. And when winter came, oh, you knew what time it was. The universe is a great teacher, ain't it? But the only way the universe works is if what? You and I verse. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Only way it works is if we show up. So I encourage people to watch everything, to study ways and actions, and to come up with your own conclusions. Start your own attack. Start your own street watch. Start whatever. Because at the end of the day, it's land and resources is the name of the game. Watch the money, pay attention to the history. They love to celebrate your culture, but ignore your struggle. Woo! I said they love to celebrate your culture, but ignore your struggle. They love to celebrate your culture, but ignore your damn struggle.
Exactly right.
Hey, black man, just go shoot some hoops, man. Just get on stage and do the comedy shit, man. We don't want to hear your struggle, man. We don't want to hear that bullshit. Just get on stage and tell it funny. Ain't nothing funny about this shit. This is people's lives being screwed with, and it's time we stand up and we fight for ours. You see the ways and actions. You see each and every one of us were able to look y'all in the eye and speak with our soul and tell you what's going on. These people may be rich when it comes to material things, but in their values, they're broke. Broke. Straight broke. Bob Marley once said, some people are so poor, all they have is money.
That's all they have, money.
No values, no class, no knowledge, no nothing. I'm going to end it off with this. You can bury us all you want. You can villainize us all you want. But understand we are seeds. And what happens when you bury a seed? It just grows stronger. This problem ain't going away. You want to keep shuffling us and shuffling us? We will get land, we will get resources one day, and then you're going to see the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding come into play. You're going to see who's about building and who's about destroying. So I thank y'all for coming out. I thank y'all for building and sharing this knowledge. Peace to y'all all, and like I said, let's go do the damn thing.
Alright guys, thank you guys so much for that. Like I said, I really do appreciate your patience. I mean, it's very hard for me to kind of like express our sentiments, our desires, like I said, I want to thank every single one of you that participated either in letting media know, came, are pairing in the sun with me, and earlier today I kind of want to make I want to make like, now that we're being on the open, that man right there that you see behind you, I don't know who he is. And you know what? There's a simple question for that. I don't know who he is because he's never shown his face here. When there's an opening, now he's here. He's talking to people that are not even involved in the community as it is. And I can tell it and I can attest to it. But you know what? I did tell him the only thing that links you to this community is your color. And you shamed it. You know why? Because politicians, what they do, oh, we see Hispanics there, let's send in a Mexican. Oh, we see Americans, let's send in American. We see someone that's from the Islam religion, let's send someone that follows that. I'm sorry, no. People like us, we see right through you. I've been contradicted back and forth about the people that knew me, about the people that saw me grow up, and about the people that saw and see who I'm becoming. I'm going to attest it to one simple thing. I don't have a voice. You guys gave me a voice. Even though I wasn't born here, I'm proud to be Mexican, but this is where I grew up. I was bred and raised here. Honestly, to me, it's a joke. Seeing officers walk around, prancing, this is where your tax dollars are at work. Talking to people that don't even care about the community, that's where your tax dollars are at work. Please, $65 an hour? I'm sorry, but I think if you say that, it might just pay for my gas for the whole week to try to find something solution.
You guys understand that they police the people, the homeless people on the buses and on the trains? Every morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, that's the first shit they doing. They're knocking on them to wake them up from sleeping. Why don't y'all give them somewhere to sleep then?
We're always hearing about it. They did this, they're causing this, I'm sorry, but if you really looked at facts the way you do, 80% of the crime that was committed in Echo Park wasn't by residents or citizens of the encampment. They were by people brought out from the outside that, you know what, we didn't call because this dumb knucklehead that has one good self working in his brain said, hey, every homeless person out there, if you need a home, go to Echo Park. We were not only policing our state because now they're getting paid to walk around. Oh, goddamn, I want to be like them. Shit, I'm getting paid to walk around the park? Where can I pay for that? Where can I apply for that? Don't wear out your shoes now. Okay, but you know, like my point being that, and I'm not judging them. I'm just saying y'all are working for the wrong team. And I get it, it's a job, but that's what differentiates us from them. This isn't a job for us. This isn't something that I can clock in and out. I've spent endless nights here with my community trying to make sure that they have a house, trying to make sure that they have a tent, trying to make sure that they have something warm. And you know what? I didn't have anything either. I had from what was based and donated to me. But when I needed help, and one day when my mental state was at a very dark place, someone offered me tea. No one's gonna offer you drugs here. No one's gonna offer you like crack, or no one's gonna offer you like, no. We can't control everybody's actions, but we can control what comes around the community. Echo Park was one of the cleanest, safest, self-sufficient communities that we've had. Not even the best governments could attach to that. Can they say the same? No. You know why? Because none of their organizations had heart. None of their organizations, none of their people. He's standing with 3 people. I'm standing with my whole people behind me. I don't need to tell him anything. Showing presence and the show of fear force, not by violence, but by words, is what's gonna keep us ahead. Quickly to wrap up, you guys. We are planning an event from here to next within 2 Saturdays. We want to be excellent and like very concrete that we're gonna have something to provide you guys. But you know, we want to kind of like, I want to say that day, and when we can get established, look forward to it. It's not gonna be a violence, but compared to the clown show that they did, what we're gonna show is gonna be the community that's going to show up, the community that's going to come and back us up, the community that's here with me now. So I just want to say, give yourself a round of applause, because you guys are here and deserve it as much as we do. Woo!
Thank you.
Okay, guys, so just like I said, we will, right now I want to kind of open the forum for any questions and answers that you guys might have to anything that, you know, you guys want to ask to any of us. There will be a point in time where we will have an open mic here. If you guys want to stick around or want to interview any of our people on the side, please do so. Everybody's been aware. If they want to participate, they will. But I just want to say, if you guys have any questions at all, you can go ahead and ask me now. But today, you know what, since I want to make one point out, my heart soared. I saw that man right there with the wheelchair. I hadn't seen him since encampment. I didn't know what happened to him. Seeing him, but you know, it sucked. You know what I hate? I'm getting happy over seeing if someone's alive. That's food for thought. So let me take the first question, guys.
Well, I just want to ask the Project Roomkey people, how many folks are getting kicked out of there? What are they getting kicked out for? Where do they go? And you folks keep track of it.
So honestly, there will be no keeping track, because even amongst them, they don't keep track. Literally, if they put 10 people, okay, I'm going to put it to you like this. Mitchell Fire got authorization for, like, let's say 13,000 houses, PRKs to be, you know, given out to people.
No, there was never any more than 3,500 people out at the project.
No. This project is nationally known. It's not only here, it's nationally known. This project was what was first organized to help the people with the third age to get accommodations if they couldn't. It was designed to help these people with mental disabilities. What happened was Mitchell Farrell turned it into a clown show. They gave him this many houses to give to people that needed it, and he said, I want to do something to buff my shoulders. I want to do something that's going to show the people what I did. So he used them all in the PRK here with people out of 150 people that went there, maybe 80 people are still there. Like I said, keep in mind, 20 of these people have committed suicide. Yes, people are dying.
So I myself, I stay at the LA Grand Project Room Key. To answer your question, I'm seeing at least pertaining to my floor, I'm seeing like 3 or 4 people get kicked out per week. Every time I go by the hallways, there's a new sign saying this client got exited, that client got exited. Now I've seen people get kicked out. Their dogs are barking at the workers too aggressively, even though the workers just barge in when they want to. So it's like, how are we supposed to prepare? You know what I'm saying? I've seen people getting kicked out for their dogs barking at the staff. I've seen people get kicked out because they were working and came to the curfew late. Just all types of nonsense. Real quick, because we want somebody else to speak. You guys can check us out at Facebook. If you go to Facebook, just type in attack. It is spelled UTACH. And our picture is going to be the picture of the Black Fist. So you guys can go over there. I will be posting updates on there regarding upcoming events, as well as recruiting new members. We're looking for new street crew and things of that such. So.
I mean, you asked why people are being kicked out of the hotel. From what I've seen, they're being kicked out for just criticising what's going on there. That's how outrageous it is. So if you criticise them, or if you don't agree with what they're doing, or if you bring it up, they're throwing people out for that. You know, that is an abuse of power.
So you wanted the questions and Niko as well? Okay.
Alright guys, I'm sorry, we're kind of doing this improvised. The reason why, like, I know you guys have deadlines to meet, and I want to, like, keep, you know, I want to keep attention to you guys as you guys have next to us. We are going to have an open mic here, and all I'm going to do is here and
Let's break down right here. Sign up. Talk real quick. Did you talk to that guy?
Yeah, I got his information.
I don't want to platform that guy at all. You can talk to him if you want and interview him. He's a Republican.
Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3. Do you guys hear me? All right.
Here, sound off.
Huh?
You want to sound off? You can take your mask off. That's perfect.
Yeah. So you guys heard all those stories. I mean, we've heard them before. Jonny and I, we came here in the very beginning when everything was starting. We talked to the organizers that were here. We heard all their stories. It's nothing new, unfortunately. I felt like this is I think where we can make inroads regarding the connection between issues, because you have, the classism, right? He was talking about the monopoly board. He was talking about they're trying to pit us against each other, and it's really what's happening. If you look around, you have people that are walking around the park, right? And they're pretending that everything is just great now because they can walk around the park, or they're just not involved and they don't care that this is happening. They just want to make sure they can go about their life. But there's going to come a point where these people can no longer ignore what's happening. And I think we're pretty close to reaching that point where the working class isn't going to allow people to sleep as they shouldn't, or politicians to keep going on with their lives, because it's too much. It happens on the daily. And living in Los Angeles and seeing the vast wealth disparity and seeing the superficiality, that was one of the things that really got me into politics. Just seeing how good everybody lived compared to people sleeping outside on the sidewalk or people sleeping on tents. And what you guys heard was straight from their mouth, and also goes along with what we experienced when we were here. I didn't see violence. I didn't see dirtiness, or even people that were, problematic. I saw people with perhaps mental health issues. There's no solution to that. We don't have a healthcare system that takes care of them. I saw people that had undergone abuse. I've been involved in the activist community for years. I've seen the women that need help, and it takes years for them to even get bridge housing, and there's not enough of them. So one of the things that I wanted to notice here the most was the fact that these people, the main thing is, it doesn't matter about having a shelter. It's having a community that's most important to them. And as human beings, we've experienced that during COVID. They want you to isolate yourself. They want you to lose that connection with humanity. They want you to start getting used to that. And people aren't naturally going to do that. So one of the things we need to do is to understand that that's an innate human thing we have, is to connect with one another. And I really enjoyed hearing all the stories. I really think that was awesome. And I have a hard time thinking that any politician is going to solve this issue. It's funny because we talk about anarchism and communism and socialism, and these people weren't asking the government for help anymore. They were trying to help themselves. So the whole thing is what we talk about all the time. You can't collect your own rainwater. You can't help yourself. So really, it's not even about money. It's about control. And that's really what's happening now. We just talked about it with Jason Burmist. They want you to take the happy pill and forget that all of this is happening. So remember that. It's all connected from the moment you step into a park at your local neighborhood all the way to the tippy top behind the national security state and the agencies. So thanks, guys, for watching with us. Johnny, Pasta, anything else?
You have anything?
No, I was just going to say, it's just a shame that we're at to this point where it's like, we're talking about a situation where all these homeless people got thrown out of a community they built. They built a community helping themselves. But what led to the point that there are so many homeless people? The systemic issues. And that's what really just bothers the shit out of me, because you see these people talking right now and it's like, okay, they're telling us their story, but where are they going after? Some of them are lucky to stay at the Grand and the way they're being treated. That's one thing. But where are they going to go after? And that's the only thing I can't stop thinking about. Some of these people, like, where are they going to go after? And it's just a shame that we have this issue in the United States. And one of the most sound things that somebody said today is that let's stop with this whole myth that there's affordable housing. There is no affordable housing anymore in LA. It's been built out. It's owned by a bunch of rich people, and there's a nymphium. They don't want anybody in your backyard, and these people over here, I can see them sitting, and their dog's out, and they're sitting there, and they're reading books, and it's beautiful, and they like that. But are they going to think about the systemic issue that's plagued this state and this country and this town, and people staying in the backyards? No. That's what I think. And, it's just a shame. So I'm just really feeling sad about that. So here's Johnny.
Yeah, we heard the stories. The stories are sad, and I'm just gonna sign off. I forgot I had something to say, but I just forgot what it was. But thank you guys for watching. Thanks to everybody who's watching on Rokfin, rokfin.com. We are demonetized on YouTube for covering the topics that the mainstream media won't cover. So please make sure to follow us on Rokfin. I couldn't even put the word Palestine in the title for Twitch, which is Bezos owned. So that's why we don't really promote Twitch. We just put it there just because I know it notifies some people.
You might not want to be promoting Twitch as independent media. I'm just saying.
Status quo. So yeah, sometimes we're out here on the ground. It's a nice day out. It's too bad that there's no help for people, and they were building a community, and that's what they were doing is like, this needs to start happening everywhere, and not just like for people who are homeless, right? Yeah. Mutual aid.
It's literally what my utopia would be, basically. That's what I would consider what I am on the political spectrum, is just not necessarily expecting the government, because they failed. They have failed on everything, right? I still believe people deserve health care for all, but again, they'll probably fail that too. And so we have to start building the mechanisms to provide for each other. And they did that, and they're not allowed to do that. So you got to ask yourself, why aren't you allowed to do that as a human being? Why aren't you allowed to help yourself? Why does it have to be under their terms? And that's one of the main points that they were making. And I see a lot of convergence with this. And by the way, when the community was still here, Echo Park Rise Up, when all of that was happening, when all of that was still happening, people still did what they're doing now. They were still running around, jogging. They were still with their kids, going with strollers. They were still
that was
sitting here.
happening.
That was happening. We have footage of that happening. The vast majority of people here didn't have an issue with that. It's the police and then the politicians who made it an issue.
And the mainstream media. That's what I wanted to. I remembered. You made me remember. If you look up articles right now about Echo Park reopening, the local channels here, the article or the people they interviewed are literally like, yeah, there's needles everywhere. They were having sex out in the open. They were like trying to paint this whole picture. And I'm like, where's the proof for that? We have proof that that was not the case. Where's your proof that all that shit was there? Where that there are needles on the ground, that they're fucking all this shit. There's no proof for that. So they literally lied. The mainstream media lied. The media lies. That's why you watch us. That's why you watch independent media. That's why there's only like maybe 2 or 3 other independent medias there. And, you know, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. But thank you guys so much from all of us here. All love, all peace. And I hope we build a better world tomorrow. So peace out.